Hello, everyone. Sarah here with this month's virtual agency fair. I am so excited to be joined by the amazing Dom Cambareri with Challenger Baseball, a legend in the game. He's been a champion for the special needs community for so long, and I am just absolutely honored to have him join me today. Hi, Dom. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. I am doing terrific, and I am very excited to talk to you and everyone associated with David's Refuge about Syracuse Challenger Baseball, about serving the amazing special needs individuals and families in our community, and also to talk about Syracuse Challenger Baseball's passionate project, the Carrier Park Field of Dreams.
Yay, I'm so excited to talk all about this. So just before we kick everything off about this, you were just telling me right before we started recording that you actually met Warren and Brenda, the founders of David's Refuge, back when really they first started David's Refuge. So you've kind of been following along with our mission for a really long time, as we have.
Yep.
With Challenger Baseball, which is so fun, and we love that, and we are so honored really to have you here. So I would just want to kick it off and just talk about how did this amazing Challenger Baseball come to be? How is this started? Tell me all about that.
It's truly an incredible story. Back in 1982, a wonderful gentleman by the name of Skip Sewell, Skip and his wife Alice were both very involved with Little League Baseball with their older sons. And their son Brian was an individual who had some developmental disabilities, but he loved baseball and wanted to play. And they gave Brian the opportunity to try to play in the regular Little League program. And it appeared that, they would have to do something different, something special in order for him to get the full amazing impact of playing Little League baseball with his peers. So what they decided to do was one day, there's a field out near the Roberts School on the west side. They decided to invite some fellow Little League coaches and some fellow Little League players to the Roberts School field and just throw the ball around and give Brian an opportunity to hit, run, field, without any pressure, but simply just enjoying the game of baseball. So basically, a pickup game, inviting him to participate. In the next 7 years, that grew into this small little what we now call it Challenger Baseball program. And other parents who had children with special needs, through word of mouth, were invited to come and participate. In 1989, Little League International, which is the governing body for all of Little League baseball worldwide, they decided to create a special needs baseball division called Challenger Baseball.
Love it.
Our league in Syracuse was already 7 years old at that point.
Oh.
And our local Little League officials and administrators made the arrangements for the Syracuse League to join and be part of Little League International's Challenger Baseball division. And we have been there ever since. And because we started in 1982, we are the oldest Challenger division in the country, predating its official formation by 7 years.
Wow, that's incredible.
We have athletes of every age, background, Sarah. We have amazing players that are neurodiverse, with intellectual and developmental impairments, um, physical and neurological issues, hearing impaired, vision impaired. It doesn't matter. When they come from all walks of life, okay, all backgrounds, and every single one of our players from ages 4 to 64 plays a vibrant and exciting game of challenger baseball. And today, we have nearly 250 players
Wow.
in 3 divisions on 16 teams, and I think we're growing to 18. And out of the greater than 1,000 challenger divisions uh, in North America, we are the largest.
Mm.
So
That's
from simple origins, to now, um, we are leading the way and showing our nation how important it is to have these players enjoy baseball and play side by side with their peers.
yeah. Oh, it's making me tear up.
It's incredible.
Yes.
It is. I'll tell you the inspiration for my wife and I, Valerie's involvement with our son Domenico.
Mm.
Okay, you asked about an inspiring story. This is a really good one,
Yeah.
and it's what prompted my wife and I to give back.
Mm.
Um, in the year 2000, um, Challenger baseball was like one of the best kept secrets in the county.
Hmm.
They had 60 players and a wonderful husband and wife team that showed up to be the volunteer directors of the program, and and they had about 6 teams, so maybe 10 players per team. And because it was laid back, they would accept new players to the program only when there was attrition, because we had 6 volunteer coaches. And when everybody's a volunteer, you want to keep it at a manageable level. We heard about the program and we contacted the couple that was running it. And we were told at that time that no one had left the program, so our son could not play. That was difficult for Valerie and I.
Mhm.
It was difficult for my son Domenico, who was 6 years old at the time. He has global developmental delays associated with autistic spectrum disorder. And at that time, there were no other programs or outlets for him to be active and healthy during the summertime. My brothers and I grew up loving and playing baseball, and I had always envisioned myself to be a baseball coach.
Mm.
And to see that Domenico didn't have the opportunity to play was difficult.
Mhm.
But they said, "Listen, come back, next year, and we'll see if we can put him on a team." And we did. And they told us again that no one had left the program, and after some discussion about it, one of the coaches said, "Geez, I'll take another player.
Mm.
He should be given an opportunity to play." So Domenico did get his chance to play in 2001.
Oh, that's great.
And he absolutely loved it. for my wife Valerie and I to watch our son run around the bases and be with a group of people who accepted him for who he was um, just a tremendous moment of euphoria for us.
Yeah.
2 years later, our directors um, decided that they would retire. Their son had turned 21, and nobody wanted to, nobody stepped up to take over the program. Okay. My son had already played for 2 years and just couldn't wait for the spring to come so that he could play again. So my wife said to me, he said, Domenico has been so engaged since he joined Challenger Baseball. Not only there, but it's positively affected the way he engages in school and everything else. And, um, we are concerned that if nobody steps up to do it, that, the legal fold.
Mm.
Okay. And if nobody wants to run it. And, she pretty much asked me if I would do it. And I did. I said yes. I said yes because I wanted to provide him an opportunity. But you know what? I sensed a bigger call that I had to answer to make a difference for all of those families,
Absolutely.
those players. And the first thing I did after, accepting the responsibility to run the league was I got these 6 volunteer coaches together and I said, we need to open this up to accept as many players as we can take. And the coaches were, hey, we'll try to do what we can do, to take as many on a team as we can. And the program just exploded.
Mm.
Within 2 years, by 2006, we literally over doubled. We were somewhere between 120 and 180 players.
Wow.
And this was based on just the pure delight of people finding out about it and reaching out and wanting to have their kids play. And we did it despite the fact that we had no fields of our own. The fields that we were invited to play on, our host Little League fields, were often in such a state that, especially our players with physical handicaps, we had a difficult time to navigate the base. The other part was that in June, July, when our season runs, if heavy rains came, we were canceled and have no place to go. If our host fields had a special tournament, we were told, sorry, we can't use the fields, because, we have to play a tournament today. So that's what I mentioned when we were off camera earlier. 2006, the dream about building a field of dreams started.
An 18 years in the making dream.
The long story short is that I spent 3 years looking for land upon which such a field of dreams might be built, looking for a partner. And nothing came to fruition until one day I had a perchance discussion with a friend of mine. His name is Ed Michaelenko. Ed and I grew up together, and he is the town supervisor in the town of DeWitt. And I lamented to him, after a meeting we had out there one day, that I couldn't find any land. I didn't know people who had a lot of money. Things were going the way I had hoped them to happen. And he turned to me and said, why don't we bring those fields here to do it? And that was it. That was the start of what truly became the Carrier Park Field of Dreams. Um, Within a year of that time, probably because of divine intervention, the Carrier Corp um, gave its former 26-acre recreational park all green space, essentially, to the town of DeWitt to develop as a park in any way it saw fit. And so we had the land. We brought after 2 years of working on what the Field of Dreams might look like, we brought the project to the public. We didn't have any money, but we had a big dream. And yet by 2016, we opened up phase one of the Carrier Park Field of Dreams. 2 gateway buildings, 2 state-of-the-art, all accessible championship baseball / softball diamonds, a concession stand, tables, open air seating, places where all families are welcome. And in 2020, we built additionally a special needs playground and 3 all accessible basketball courts.
Oh, cool.
The community rallied around us, rallied around our efforts to raise money for Carrier Park. We received support from all over, from philanthropic individuals, local community foundations, and organizations, from state and local government. And it was as if we were watching the impossible dream come to fruition. And now, tonight, we hope that the town board will move forward with a bonding initiative that will allow us to complete the Carrier Park Field of Dreams with an expansion project we call our Super Field of Dreams. Our Super Field of Dreams will feature an all-turfed, all-accessible, multi-sports field that can accommodate 4 softball or 4 baseball games at once. It can also accommodate 2 soccer, 2 football, or 2 lacrosse games at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It will be equipped with 2 state-of-the-art video scoreboards and portable scoreboards. And right next to it, we will complete the 3rd all-accessible baseball field to complete the Clover, and that will be the honorary Challenger Field.
I love that.
It's all pretty exciting, all because the families and players of Syracuse Challenger Baseball dared to dream and inspired this community to recognize that every child of every ability desires and should be given the opportunity to be the best version of themselves on any sports or recreation field.
You said it. You said everything I could imagine. It's such an easy concept, to get behind. Every child deserves to be there and have the best equipment, not, we don't use this field that's flooded, so you guys can use this field. Go ahead if you can. Every child needs to be able to have this opportunity, not just, a spot because they're just giving it to you. No, right. Every kid, every family, everyone needs to be given this opportunity because they deserve it. And it's just, it's basic human right, it's what you're doing is amazing. And I feel very emotional listening to what you're saying. I have a son of my own, and he, he can just go walk onto any team, and it's very accessible for him. And hearing stories of families that don't have that, it's just it really it breaks my heart. And I'm so honored to hear what you, Dom, are doing, what everyone in Challenger baseball is doing. It warms my heart that the community has been rallying behind you. And we have a lot of athletes that are a part of David's Refuge, our families, and I know I've heard many stories about just the opportunity that you guys have given them, but kind of what you'd always already said, it's also an opportunity for the parents.
Sarah, it takes a village.
Yes.
Okay. And we hear that phrase often when you see things that seemingly may be out of reach all of a sudden come to fruition when good-minded and good-hearted people get together to make things happen. At Challenger Baseball, I have two incredible colleagues who volunteer their time, incredibly talented businesswomen, parents, mothers, Jennifer Savastino and Dee Perkins.
Yes.
They have been such an integral part to the success of Challenger and in helping create the vision of how important inclusive and adaptive sports is. My wife, Valerie, has literally sacrificed everything to be certain that both of our sons not only participate in things like Challenger Baseball, but also helping guide them to be role models for others to become involved. And that's a great thing.
Yes. No, it absolutely is. I wanted to ask you a few more questions.
Even I got all choked up, so I apologize. Okay.
I apologize. I feel like I'm gonna lose it. So you've already told me, some amazing success stories that, your own amazing family. I can imagine you've had athletes that, start at 4 and you've seen them climb the ladder and, have been involved for a very long time. That has to be just amazing to see and be a part of and know these families and, be a part of their story.
I am aware that, my son Domenico will now be entering his 24th year in Challenger Baseball. Dee Perkins' son Taylor started in the year 2000. So I think this is his 25th anniversary.
Wow.
We literally have athletes who have started at age 4 and they're still with us. And it's incredible because not only has it become something that involves baseball and each one of our players cheering for their peers and their friends, but it's something bigger than that. And let me tell you what I mean. Challenger Baseball really is a community of support for all the players and families that are associated with that. They network and they talk about important things like providing the services, structures, and supports for the players to succeed in life, whether that be um, networking to discuss um, their child's educational experiences and how they can be improved and where they can be referred to be better advocates for their kids in the educational setting, um, where they can connect with an agency or a program like David's Refuge, for example, all right, to recharge from the rigors of daily life, whether it is associating with an agency like Advocates or Exceptional Family Resources or Arise or others who support our families um, with fiscal management resource services, direct support services, and um, other programs that will allow each one of the individuals to be able to choose the life that they want to choose and live it in the way that they wish to live it. That's all we have to do is provide the opportunities and those supports and put them in place. You know, we talked about the Carrier Park Field of Dreams, and we've talked about agencies and programs that support our population. Back at the time where I started as the executive director of Challenger Baseball was also the same time when I started serving the board of directors of Family Capped, which eventually became Advocates Incorporated. And at that time, there were no respite services. Okay. And Family Capped, we were motivated as a group of parents to build the amazing Casey's Place Respite House. And not far on the heels of the success of Casey's Place came the founders of David's Refuge. And we recognized that we needed to put some structures and supports in place for a refuge. Okay. The other aspect is today we love to discuss um, things like diversity and inclusivity of all of our children,
Absolutely.
all of our players, adaptive sports, inclusive sports, unified sports. Do you know back in 2003, those terms didn't exist? They weren't utilized for those purposes. But yet, motivated parents, motivated members of the community, all banded together and decided we need to make a difference for these individuals and for these kids, and for these families. We need to take the God-given talents that we have, step outside of ourselves, and utilize those talents for the benefit of these individuals so they can succeed in life. And that literally has happened in the last 20 years. It has been an incredible thing for myself, my wife, my Challenger colleagues, my Carrier Park Field of Dreams colleagues to witness and to be part of.
Absolutely.
And it all fits together. And, you know, just like you folks at David's Refuge understand that it all fits together and that every little component, whether it's respite, whether it's wellness or healthy activity or providing some other type of community support, it all fits together. And um, we have made a difference
Mm.
for these families and we'll continue to do so. When the Super Field of Dreams is finally completed, there are going to be kids and families playing there for generations.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be a magnificent thing to see.
You're changing lives, you're building community, and it's really making a difference in the world, in the lives of all of these families, which is just so beautiful. We always say at David's Refuge, we're not in competition with anyone. We just want to be a connecting piece.
We are all critical components
Yes,
of a greater purpose,
absolutely.
right? And that is to provide each and every one of our children, all right, with the dignity
Mm,
and respect, hope, and
yes.
opportunity that they deserve to be a successful and thriving member of our community and their families.
So that's it. That's it. That's all we want. That's all we want. That's amazing. Well, so tell me about first steps for families to get involved with Challenger Baseball.
Oh, it's again thanks to the amazing talents of our volunteers. Um, we have an incredible website, SyracuseChallengerBaseball.com, and an even more incredible Facebook page, Syracuse Challenger Baseball, where there are links that will allow any parent,
Great.
all right, to make an application to apply. We usually start taking the applications in February, and we cut them off about now. Um, and even then, it's hard to say no to anybody who but we are so exploding with all of our teams and their rosters.
Mhm.
And that's why we need to expand the super field, because we need to have our
More
kids
space.
all play at one field that will accommodate them all.
Yes.
That's so very easy to get involved. The Even though we're all volunteers at Challenger Baseball, we have so many people who have talents in business and social media, in marketing, and life skills and education that um, we easily are able to reach out to those people who contact us and get them involved. In addition to that, we also go to the uh, agency fairs
Mm.
where they invite in um, programs and so on to say, hey, we're out here and we can serve your son or your daughter. And we go to the schools. In fact, now that I think back on it, between 2003 and 2010, we visited a lot of schools. Okay, we wanted to get the message out to the special ed coordinators in the school districts in central New York that we were here. And so not only do we wait for people to come to us, but we go to them.
Very good.
And at the end of the day, the best way of connecting, word of mouth and success of Carrier Park.
Absolutely.
Okay. The more you see about the great things that's happening with Challenger Baseball, for example, we went to the Little League World Series last year for Challenger. All right. The people realize that there's something really special going on here in Syracuse, New York. There definitely is. we believe that Challenger Baseball and Carrier Park will be the template for communities across America to embrace adaptive and inclusive sports, to embrace the attitude that, yes, you can play. And we have already received feedback from other communities, from Little League International itself, that they want to model the Challenger program after the one that we have here.
Wow.
And we are hoping that the Little League International officials from Williamsport, Pennsylvania will visit Syracuse Challenger Baseball opening day at Carrier Park on June 4th of this year, because Carrier Park may end up serving as a motivation and template for other
Wow.
communities to consider building the same type of inclusive and accessible facilities. So
That's incredible. That's
very
amazing. Very,
it-
I'm sure hearing that, like, from your desk, being involved in so long, that just has
yeah,
to be, but also all the years you've put in, all the hard work, everyone that's put in, it just has to, just fill your heart with how much this is taking off.
it's there isn't enough time to give credit
Mhm.
to all the amazing people that have poured in their time, talent, treasure, heart, and soul into Challenger Baseball and Carrier Park. There are so many people. And, the fact is that from the beginning, I've been driven by an important and inspirational phrase. And I think the people who are involved have been inspired similarly. And the phrase is this: you start by doing what is necessary, then you do what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
And if you speak to the founders of David's Refuge, I believe that they will concur with me
Oh,
that their journey was very similar. And we have to remember that it is through difficulties and trials and tribulations that something greater and better results.
absolutely. Absolutely. Dom, I feel like I could talk to you all day.
Thank you. That's very nice. I could talk about these kids all day.
Which is amazing, which is
I
absolutely amazing.
About them all day, and my colleagues have often given me lots of good-natured ribbing over the fact that I keep talking and talking.
No, it's a good thing. You're the right
But,
man to have there, because your heart is full and you are so passionate.
I always feel like I am bursting at the seams to talk about our families and our. They're so amazing. I mean, I told you the story regarding Domenico. There are so many individual stories to tell about how Challenger was a critical component in the success of an individual. There's too many to mention, but I'm happy to talk about them all
Tell
because um, they are the source for individuals like us to go the extra mile for them. They're the inspiration. They're the source.
I'm sure we'll
So
have
we
a
do.
lot of families. I'm sure we'll have a lot of families that, are very interested and, want to actually then take that next step, but might be a little nervous, about trying
Oh yeah.
something new. What would you say to a brand new athlete or a family of an athlete that, just wants to dip their toe in or learn a little bit more? What would you say to inspire? I'm sure
That
listening
is
to
a
all of
great
this would inspire them.
question. It's a great question because everyone we Challenger parents have experienced that. So I'll tell you exactly what it will tell them. My son Domenico spent his first 2 years literally running all over the field. Okay. And it didn't matter to anybody. He was having a great time. We tell them, your son and daughter is accepted here. We don't care if they sit and play in the dirt at third base, okay? Or, they run back and forth or whatever the case may be. Once they become acclimated to the mentors that are there, the parents, the volunteer coaches, and everything else, they will begin to look forward to coming and playing and being there side by side by their peers. No one's going to judge them. Okay. It's a complete welcoming experience. And I've had this conversation like you and I are having now about this with hundreds of parents, as have my colleagues Jennifer and Dee, okay, and others, our coaches, the same thing. You are welcome here, okay? Your presence is desired here. You are part of something bigger when you are here. And I think that puts a lot of the families at ease. And because of all the challenges that they may face with their son or daughter, and there's plenty of them, even preparing them to come to the park is an event. Okay. It takes a lot of energy. But once they get there, okay, they step into an experience that makes them feel alive, both the players and the caregivers.
That's absolutely incredible.
And it's easy to say because it's the truth.
It is the truth. It is the truth. Dom, like you said, there is something really special going on here in Syracuse, New York, and you are a major part of that. So I thank you for everything that Challenger Baseball is doing for the special needs community, for all of our families. It's been an absolute honor to talk with you and to learn more about Challenger Baseball. I really encourage everyone to head out on your opening day, June 4th at 5 p.m. at Carrier Park. You guys.
It is going to be an incredible event.
I'm looking
so
forward
many
to
exciting things to happen. We get to, but at the end of the day, what we're doing is we are celebrating our players.
Absolutely.
And their families and their ability to come and play baseball at a field that welcomes them, and with a group of individuals and families that welcomes them. And you can't get any more special than that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Dom. I really appreciate your time.
All right. We'll talk again.
Yes. Thank you, Dom.
Have a great day.